The rain had been relentless all day, hammering against the city streets like an angry drum. She shivered under the thin jacket she'd bought last week. Her fingers numb as she clutched the crumpled paper with his number written on it. Her life had been falling apart in pieces she didn't even have the strength to gather. And yet, standing outside his office building, she felt a flicker of hope. She took a deep breath and dialed the number, her voice trembling more from anticipation than cold. "Hello, Mr. Harper, it's Emily." "Emily." The deep, controlled voice on the other end made her heart skip. "I remember. Are you okay?" Her laugh was bitter. I'm surviving. Listen, I know this is ridiculous, but can you pretend to be my boyfriend for a day?" The words tumbled out, desperate, unpolished, yet urgent. There was a pause on the line longer than she'd expected. She could almost hear him thinking, weighing her request like it was some dangerous gamble. "Pretend to be your boyfriend. For a day?" His tone was steady, but there was something unreadable behind it. "Yes," she blurted, her cheeks burning. "It's just one day. I promise. I need it for my family. People are judging me, and I don't know how else to explain it." Another pause. "This one different?" He exhaled slowly, as if making a choice he didn't want to. "All right," he said finally. "I'll do it. But understand this, I don't do anything halfway. You're getting the full Harper treatment." Her stomach twisted, nerves and a strange thrill coiling together. Thank you. I mean it. You won't regret it." "I never do," he murmured. Then the line clicked dead, leaving her trembling in the pouring rain. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with a gaze that seemed to cut straight through people. Single dad, CEO, untouchable. She didn't know why he agreed, or why he even took her seriously. But when he appeared at her apartment the next morning, she nearly gasped. "Good morning," he said, his voice low and calm, sliding into her living room like he owned the place. "I assume you've thought this through. One day, one act. No mistakes." "I've thought about it," she stammered, her fingers gripping the hem of her sweater. He was intimidating, impossibly so, yet there was an undeniable warmth in his presence. They stepped into the city together, side by side, and immediately the world seemed to notice. Heads turned, whispers followed them, and Emily felt a strange thrill. Harper's hand brushed hers lightly, and for a moment, she forgot the reason she'd asked for this charade. Yet as the day progressed, it became clear this wasn't going to be a simple act. People were curious. Family members were suspicious. And every glance, every word he said for her, felt like a dangerous game. One wrong move, one slip, and her life could explode in a scandal she didn't have the resources to contain. At lunch, a woman approached him boldly. "David! Didn't expect to see you here?" Her tone carried familiarity, a hint of accusation. Harper's jaw tightened, and he introduced Emily smoothly. "This is Emily, my guest for today." Emily's stomach lurched, noticing the subtle edge in the woman's expression. Something about this encounter screamed danger, but Harper remained calm, charming, untouchable. And yet behind his eyes she caught a flicker of tension. Hours passed. They attended a charity gala, posed for photos, laughed at jokes, and whispered secrets meant only for each other. Emily's heart raced every time he leaned close, every time he touched her shoulder, with that casual authority that sent shivers down her spine. But the true shock came as night fell. They returned to her apartment, exhausted but exhilarated, when a knock echoed through the door. She froze. Who could possibly know she was here? Harper's expression hardened. "Stay here." The door opened, revealing a man she didn't recognize. "David Harper," he said, his voice icy. "I've been looking for you. And I see you've brought company." Emily's mind spun. The danger was real. The thrill of pretending was nothing compared to the terror now gripping her. Harper's hand moved to her back, guiding her behind him. "Emily," he whispered, "stay calm. Trust me." The stranger stepped closer, a smirk tugging at his lips. "You can't hide anything from me, Harper. Especially not today." Emily felt her knees weaken. Harper's presence was her anchor, his gaze steady as he spoke. "We're not here to play your games. Leave." The man chuckled, unfazed. "I'm afraid it's too late. You've gotten involved with something bigger than yourself. And you, little Emily, are more important than you realize." Her pulse raced, heart pounding in her chest. Harper moved in front of her, protective, commanding. Emily had no idea who this man was, what threat he posed. But Harper's calm in the face of danger made her feel both terrified and safe. Suddenly the stranger lunged, Harper reacted in a blur, deflecting him with a force that made Emily gasp. He caught the man effortlessly, pinned him against the wall. "I warned you," he said, voice low, dangerous. "Stay out of our lives." The man's eyes blazed with fury. "This isn't over, Harper. Not by a long shot." And then, as abruptly as he appeared, he vanished into the shadows, leaving Emily trembling. She turned to Harper, voice barely a whisper. Who was that?" He studied her carefully, expression unreadable. "Someone who doesn't understand boundaries. But it's over for now. You're safe." Emily's knees gave way and Harper caught her in his arms. The closeness, the warmth, the undeniable tension, it was overwhelming. She felt like she was standing at the edge of a cliff, unsure if the fall would kill her or set her free. The rest of the night passed in a blur of adrenaline and confusion. Harper stayed close, protective, silent at first, until she could no longer hide her racing heart. "Why are you doing this for me?" she asked, the words trembling. He looked down at her, something vulnerable flickering in his eyes. "Because sometimes people deserve a chance, even if they don't know it themselves." Emily's chest tightened, emotions swirling like a storm. She wanted to ask more, to unravel the mystery that was him, but a sudden noise from the street drew their attention. Footsteps. Fast. Urgent. Another threat? Harper's hand tightened around hers. "No matter what comes, we face it together." Her breath caught. It wasn't just a charade anymore. Pretending to be his girlfriend had crossed a line into something real, something terrifyingly intense. She realized she was no longer afraid of being alone. She was afraid of losing him. The next day, the city felt different. People whispered, stared, speculated, but Harper remained her anchor, her shield, her partner in a game that had become far more dangerous than she ever anticipated. When she finally asked him again in a quiet moment between chaos, "Will you really be my boyfriend?" Harper's answer was unexpected. "I don't pretend, Emily, but for you, I think I want to try." The word shocked her, heart leaping, mind racing. Pretending had been the plan, but now reality had shifted. The line between pretense and truth had blurred irrevocably. And as danger lingered in the shadows, Emily realized that one day of pretending had changed her life forever. Harper leaned close, brushing a stray hair from her face, eyes dark and intense. "But remember," he whispered, "once you cross this line, there's no going back." Emily nodded, trembling, excitement and fear entwined. She had stepped into a world she didn't fully understand. But with Harper by her side, she felt ready to face anything. Outside, the city continued its relentless pulse, unaware of the dangerous, thrilling story unfolding behind closed doors. Emily held his hand tightly, knowing that tomorrow would bring more challenges, more shocks, more truths. And for the first time in her life, she was ready. The day had started as a lie. It had become a test, and now it had become the beginning of something neither of them could have predicted. In the world of power, danger, and unexpected passion, Emily and Harper had just begun a story that would change everything. One day of pretending had unleashed a reality far more thrilling, suspenseful, and shocking than either of them could have imagined. And there was no turning back. The morning after the confrontation, Emily woke to the sound of her phone buzzing insistently. She fumbled for it, heart racing, only to find a message that made her blood run cold. "He won't stay away forever. Neither will I, Em." Her mind immediately went to the stranger from the night before. Harper stirred beside her, sensing her tension without a word. "What's wrong?" His voice was calm, but Emily could feel the steel underneath. "A message from him," she whispered, showing the screen. Harper's jaw tightened. "Em, he's been a problem for years. He doesn't usually target women. But since you're involved, you're in the crossfire." His gaze locked onto hers, and for the first time Emily saw the raw, unfiltered truth in his eyes, the part Harper never let anyone see. "Crossfire?" she breathed, fear clawing at her chest. "I'm not involved in anything. I'm just me." "You're involved now, whether you like it or not," he said, gripping her hand. "And I will protect you, even if it means dragging you through hell." Emily swallowed, adrenaline mixing with panic. She felt the thrill, the danger, and the strange pull between them, all wrapped in one suffocating knot. Harper stood, pulling her behind him as he scanned the streets below their apartment. "Lock every door. Stay out of sight. I'll handle this." Hours passed with no sign of the man, but the tension was unbearable. Every noise, every shadow on the walls made Emily jump. Harper remained near, calm but tense, a living barrier between her and the unknown. When he finally spoke, it was in that low, controlled tone that sent shivers down her spine. "This is bigger than us, but the choice to fight or hide is yours. I suggest fighting." Emily shook her head, trembling. "I don't know if I can." "You can," he said softly, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Because you won't be alone. Not now, not ever." Then the phone rang, a number she didn't recognize. Harper answered, and his expression darkened almost immediately. He hung up after a few terse words, turning to her. "They know where we are. They're moving fast. We leave now." Before she could protest, Harper had her in the car, the city lights streaking past as they drove into the unknown. The thrill of their charade had become a living nightmare, but Emily couldn't deny the fire inside her, the mix of fear, adrenaline, and the forbidden attraction to the man who had become her protector. Her secret, her anchor. They reached a secluded safe house far from prying eyes. Harper's eyes scanned the surroundings, and he finally allowed himself a deep breath. "You're safe here. For now." Emily's hands shook as she sat on the edge of the bed, trying to process the storm of emotions, fear, relief, and the overwhelming pull toward Harper. "Why me?" she asked quietly, voice breaking. "Why risk everything for me?" He knelt in front of her, gripping her shoulders gently. "Because I've seen too many people I care about get hurt. And because you're not just someone I'm pretending to care about. Emily, you're already part of my life, whether we admit it or not." Her chest tightened, heart pounding in a rhythm she'd never felt before. The line between pretense and reality had blurred irreversibly. She realized the day she asked him to pretend had unleashed a chain of events far beyond her imagination, a dangerous, thrilling, and shocking reality that was only beginning. A sudden noise outside snapped them both to attention. Harper moved instinctively, shielding her. The danger wasn't gone. It had only grown stronger. Emily's pulse raced, but beneath the fear was a fierce determination she hadn't known she possessed. "Whatever happens," Harper said, eyes dark and serious, "we face it together. No lies, no pretending, just us." Emily nodded, gripping his hand tightly. For the first time, she wasn't afraid of what might come. The danger, the adrenaline, the thrill, it all made her feel alive. And in that moment, Emily understood that one day of pretending had turned into a lifetime of consequences. Passion and peril. They had crossed a point of no return, and neither the city nor the shadows lurking in it could ever undo what had begun. Outside, the night pulsed with danger, secrets, and unseen eyes. Inside, Emily and Harper shared a bond forged in fire, suspense, and an attraction that neither could deny. Pretending was over. Reality had begun, and it was more shocking, suspenseful, and thrilling than either of them could have imagined.